So Nancy Pelosi's husband was one of the people that received the PPP loan recipients. If you guys remember, a lot of the small businesses were left out in the cold when it came to the PPP because the corporations took them. And so now we're finding out that there is a firm partially owned by Nancy Pelosi, her husband, that got Paychex Protection Program loans, and this was released on Monday. There are also companies owned or associated with people like Mike Kelly, Kevin Hearn, Mark Wayne Mullen, Rick Allen, who also received the coronavirus loans. All of these are, of course, representatives. And there were also businesses linked to Roger Williams, Vicky Hartsier, Susie Lee, and Debbie McCarcel Powell. So they said her spokesperson said that she is a minor passive investor in this company, and that he was not involved or even aware of this PPP loan, which is bullshit. Then the Post, they told the Post that Paul Pelosi owns 8.1% of EDI Associates, which got a loan of between $350,000 and $1 million, and the company invests in El Dorado Hotel in Sonoma, California. Pelosi's stake is worth between $250,000 and $500,000, according to official disclosure firms. Okay, so I just want to say, normally representatives wouldn't have this much money. Like, you make decent money, but you don't make enough to be a multimillionaire. And Nancy Pelosi, of course, is a multimillionaire. We've seen her fridges. This shouldn't have. First of all, none of these people should be that wealthy. None of them. Their only reason they're wealthy is because they take lobbyist money, they take oil money, they take insurance money, etc. They're bought off by all these people. So that's wrong in general. Obviously, we need to get money out of politics. But the fact that during the coronavirus, when people have received $1,200, if that, and some unemployment, thankfully the $600 for some people who are able to qualify for unemployment, Nancy Pelosi is benefiting from these people. I mean, she's becoming richer. These people are getting their loans. These private companies are getting these corporate companies are getting these loans, while small businesses are tanking, and we're seeing it right now in real time. Businesses close left and right because they didn't get the money they needed, and even the money they were given wasn't enough because, again, they haven't been given anything else. I think it just shows you how these Democrats don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about anybody. It's all about the money. It doesn't matter if you're on the right or the left. It's all about the money.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second, fam, because this is something that's going to maybe hurt. And, I'm going to say this. This economic stranglehold in which the Democrats and the Republicans and Donald Trump signed into law, they have fleeced the people. Okay, they have stolen from the people. There's going to be a tsunami of foreclosures. They still haven't put any rent freeze, any rent protections. And I don't want to hear any of those Congress people who are calling for cancellation of rent after they signed on to the CARES Act right here. The PPP money is limited. So it means if a lot of people at the top take that money out, there'll be a lot less for people on the bottom. Not to mention the fact that the way you could spend the money is very limited, and also the fact that the banks are threatening you with lawsuits if you in any way don't use the money in the right way. You know what I'm saying? We showed our friend who got a letter and said, remember, you can be subject to be federal, indictments and whatnot if you don't move this money in the right way, if you lie on the application. Yeah. So it scares people. This particular situation, when you economically put a stranglehold, you're going to kill more people than everything else except for war out there. You know what I'm saying? Any type of death you think about it, opioids, anything. This is going to kill more people because it's going to put more people on the street. It's going to cause more poverty. It's going to cause less health care for people who can't afford it right now. You're actually stealing and you're killing people by doing this. I cannot wait to get out in front of this freaking lady's house with a bullhorn. I really cannot. She is the gatekeeper of making sure progressive policies do not pass. Nothing will change until this woman is removed from office. Shahid Buttar, 2020.
You're so ridiculous. I don't think it's like nothing will change, but I think it'll be extremely difficult. She is the gatekeeper, like he says. She literally has a squad, pretty much. They can't do too much because then she'll like kick him out and blah blah blah, which I disagree with because I think they can do a lot more. We've seen other people take more control. But here's the other side. Donald Trump, of course, his small business his small business rescue bailed out also Kushner, who's his family as well by marriage, by law, and Obama's aides and other political elites. So again, it's not just the Democrats, it's also the Republicans. And this was the whole program, and this was the $1 trillion program that was supposed to bail out struggling employees. Blah blah blah. People were concerned. Oh, Trump's going to use this for his friends. Well, it wasn't just Trump's friends. They weren't the ones catching as much windfall as the Washington, D.C.'s well-off and well-connected in general. Among the entities cashing 6 to 7 figure checks from the federal government's Paycheck Protection Program were Grove Norquist, a highly powered consulting firm run by former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, the nonprofit headed by former Trump campaign official David Bossie, and a political strategy firm linked to 2 alumni of the Obama White House who've turned in anti-Trump podcasting into a lucrative enterprise. Of course, anti-Trump podcasting is going to be a lucrative enterprise. If I wanted to just have an anti-Trump podcast, I would that's the way to go, you guys.
You know that with this guy right here, Grover Norquist, this guy is so friggin' myopic. I've seen him on Bill Maher and whatnot. He ran around the country, fam, and having all the candidates, the Republican candidates, when they first got on the stage last time, to sign a pledge saying, John, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me? To sign a pledge saying that they would not enact any new taxes whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, if you're trying to get a tax for, maybe a carbon tax or something, no new taxes, meaning you can't put a tax on the rich at that point as well. And he ran around the country making sure everybody signed and got so much attention for doing so. But people were all for it. They're just, all these ideas that come out of the establishment, whether it be from the right or the left, they are so myopic. They do nothing. They're just for reactionary people and give them the red meat. I'm sorry to cut you off. You may continue reading.
So also Trump's son, Barron Trump's school got some money, and then also Obama's children, the school where they graduated, Sidwell Friends School, also got between 5 and 10 million. Of course, they protect each other. Again, both Trump and Obama's, their aides, their friends, all got taken care of. And then the Treasury Department finally released the name of everyone who received a loan greater than the $150,000 through the PPP. The disclosure does not cover loans below that amount, nor does it specify the exact amount that each organization received. So,
but the fact that they were able to dip in there and get it, fam, it's just ridiculous. This was money for small businesses, and you got all these people, these vultures, after they already got trillions of dollars handed to them with the bills before this. You know what I'm saying? So not only did they fleece the country once, all right, but now they're also taking from everyday poor people out there, and what left of the middle class we have left. They're really suffocating. They're putting the boot on the neck of everybody right fucking now. And you guys better wake up, because this is really going to... I hope people get in the streets. I'm talking everybody after this one. If you don't see what they're doing now, you'll never see it, ladies and gentlemen. Look at them. They're stealing from the small business loan. Pelosi.
And Axios returned... They also got money, but they returned it after public outcry. A public outcry works a lot of the time. You shame these companies into doing something at the very least symbolic. But I mean, it's I think people should be angry about this. I think people should be protesting this, especially small businesses, because during the time that small businesses were waiting for their PPP, I saw a lot of people who have never been political before just start talking about it and start saying, "Oh my God, I'm not getting this. How is Ruth Chris, who's a corporation, getting it before we are?" Blah blah blah. So that also helped these people expose who these corporations were, and also caused some of them to return the money. Shake Shack, I believe, returned the money. And, but that shouldn't happen. They shouldn't have gotten the money in the first place.
Can I say that? They shouldn't have gotten the money in the first place. And this was the problem with Mnuchin, right? Steve Mnuchin, okay? Because the whole thing was that, we couldn't go after him for his practices when he actually put out predatory loans or fake loans and then pull people's houses from underneath them. It happened to Graham Elwood. We talked about it on the show. It was one whole big scam, and Obama bailed out the banks and let these guys run free. But he was so supposedly, he couldn't do anything. It was like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. It was a breakdown. Why would Trump hire this idiot who can't run anything? It's like hiring Dean Logan. I wouldn't let these guys run an ice cream shop. I really wouldn't, because that's how stupid they are. The fact that they were able to access this money in the first place just shows you how incompetent and stupid they are. Or maybe they aren't as competent and stupid, and they just feel they can rob you right in front of your face.
Yep. And this is my whole point, guys. This is why I will not vote for either Biden or Trump, because you can't convince me that one is better than the other. You just can't. I mean, you can argue over who's worse, whatever, in the long run, short term, whatever. But like, both parties, like, I'm done with the duopoly. I'm done with the two-party system. They both exploit and use the working and middle classes for, like, as so expendable. They do the bidding of the military-industrial complex and the CIA. I mean, this is just for show. Voting for a president right now, I mean, I'm even to the point where I don't care about the Green Party. I don't care about anything. Like, I'm just like, the federal government nationally isn't going to change anything at this point, because we have so much underneath it that is so corrupt that we have to start from the bottom up. Change will not come from whoever you elect as president. It's not going to come that way. It's just not. So I think we need to stop looking for saviors, and we need to really understand that this change is happening through people's actions on the ground. That's going to make all of this happen. Like, focusing on who will save us in 2020 isn't it, or in 2024. I mean, well, we might be gone by then. Who knows what the hell might happen by then? Like, stop like saying Nina Tulsi 2024. Like, what good does that do right now? It doesn't do any good, especially if they run under the same party, under the same system that is going to try to prevent them from getting there, when we have the same type of bogus elections that we've been having, when we have the same, like we have no power, and the only way to get that power is to demand that power. So yeah, I'm just fed up with the whole thing. We do have some people
that have kind of made it to the through the jungle primary and have a chance to really maybe, I don't know. I mean, once again, I think these elections are fixed and it doesn't make a difference. But Angelica Duenas,
well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't support some of these great progressives, but again, I go back to the squad. Like,
yeah,
I won't, like, I love some of these candidates and I think they're great, but at the same time, you are running under the Democratic Party. You are tied to the Democratic Party and their little mind games, and Nancy Pelosi and all of these things. Like, it's just, how do you expect to reform a gang of criminals? Because that's what they are. They're a gang of criminals. It's like, I just don't believe that sort of corruption that's embedded with so much money can be reformed. I mean, we don't even let people get reform through a better jail system, yet we let these people go out and about and commit crimes against the American people, all because it's under the facade of legality. And morality does not equal the law. The law is written by men, and men are flawed. And by men, I mean the human beings. And so I just don't know. I just don't think we're going to get that change through picking somebody that's like that amazing. I think we need more people like Shama who understand how to do the activism on the ground and how to turn that into legislation. So,
well, Shama's held her ground. You know, she really has. She's one of the bright lights as far as a Democrat. No, she's not even a Democrat, because she was in Washington.
she won as a socialist alternative.
Exactly, and that was the once again, but the laws of Washington allowed her to do that too.
Yeah.
So,
and that's key, though. That is key, because if Shama, and I spoke to Graham about this yesterday, if Shama Sawant had run as a Democrat, she would not have been able to do what she has done now. There is no way. They would have controlled her. They would have done something. The fact that she is a literal outsider from the Socialist Alternative Party, that changed the game. And I think more people need to go that route, because it is possible. At least at the lower level offices. You
know, I often talk about, you know, how the what we need more than anything is the way. And let me read the super chat contribution. It says M Berg 33 Green Convention is online 9 through 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for the information. The 9th starts tomorrow, so I guess it's starting tomorrow. I thought it was starting on Friday, but Ron's on Friday, so we know that. But as we get on to the next subject too, fam, we often talked about this, and I bring it up a lot, and I want to go get that video of Boehner crying, you know what I'm saying, when I would talk about that Freedom Caucus. What they did, they made him cry, and then he quit. I wish the squad would have joined together and done that to Nancy Pelosi. I really, really do. I was hoping for that. We saw it on the right. I said, let's see it on the left now. By all means, they had superstars going into there. The Freedom Caucus had a bunch of schmucks, but they put their target on Eric Cantor, who was a leader in the Republican Party as the establishment. They took his ass out, and everything started to change. People started going to them on the right. Now it's been overturned, and it's not the same anymore. Who cares? But we didn't get that on the left.